Ugly dudes with hot wives, how did you do it? Story 1. I've always been one of those guys where people are like, dude, how did you get her? I'm super tall, which probably helps, but I've always been overweight. I'm not exactly sloth. Look up the Goonies, youngins. You're welcome, but I'm not Marlon Brando either. I'm highly average looking. I do pretty well financially, but you wouldn't know it to look at me, my truck or home, and when I got with my wife I was broke AF. I always tell them it isn't that hard. Treat them like people you value and respect. Listen to them. Take an interest in them and the things important to them. Put in some genuine effort to show them you care. It's easier and more effective to constantly do little things to show her you care than always trying to prove it with some big gesture. Then just take care of yourself. Good hygiene. Keep your house and ride clean. Have a couple of genuine interests and hobbies. It makes you a more interesting and well-rounded person. Learn to cook. No woman wants a man-child who can't properly feed himself, and I've not met a woman yet who doesn't like a man that can cook. Also, don't listen to douchebags. Andrew Tate is the latest one, but there is always some popular famous one at any given time. Story 2. I'll give my perspective from the other side. My boyfriend isn't classically handsome. His hairline is receding and the man is a beanpole and somewhat effeminate. Exactly who the Andrew Tate types claim will never get a woman. But I'm obsessed with him and I'm so glad and proud he's mine. Why is that? He listens when I talk. He cleans up after himself. He's funny and insightful. And above all kind. He cooks. He's terrible at it, but he tries hard. He's the most gentle man I've ever met, and because of that I don't feel the fear I've felt around most men in my life. My cats love him. He feeds me. He apologizes when he's wrong, and I feel secure enough to admit when I'm wrong too. We talk every problem out as us versus the problem instead of him versus me. He gives me space when I need it and attention when I need it too. We respect each other. Those things aren't hard, but he's the first to check all those boxes. He's an 100 out of 10 for me, and I'll grow old and die with him happily. Story 3. When my boyfriend and I found each other online, he would make any excuse not to video chat with me. We exchanged pics. He had only 2, but I felt it was necessary to see each other live before meeting. Pics do not show the true person. I was mainly thinking of safety and I was about to bail on him. He sweetly convinced me to be patient and wait to meet in person. I asked why. I thought he was a serial killer or something. He assured me he wasn't. He simply didn't want my first impression of him to be on video chat. Cautiously, I decided to be patient. We proceeded to text and call each other every day for the next 2 weeks. The texts became love letters and the calls were exciting. I got to know him on a much deeper level, and I thought his voice was so sexy. He made me laugh and he was thoughtful. He was so kind-hearted, but also very masculine, which I love. He exuded confidence. The chemistry was off the charts. The laughter was constant. When we met for the first time, it didn't matter what he looked like. He is not traditionally handsome by society's standards. He is a little overweight, bald, and a bit hunched over. I think he is gorgeous. He knew exactly what he could offer me and navigated our meeting to allow us to fall in love. Some might think he was perhaps hiding, but we could have missed out on a great love. He is the love of my life. Sometimes he jokes and asks what I see in him, calls himself ugly. I remind him of our love story and he smiles. I also remind him that I think he is hot AF. I plan on being his wife one day. Love of my life. Story 4. I was a late bloomer. I went from a 4 on a good day to a 7 or maybe 8. Thanks to genetics and heavy lifting. We get handsome, but holy hell, we don't start out that way. I met my wife when I was in my early 20s. She was 19. She was one of those girls that just glowed. Insanely gorgeous. During our first date I was absolutely certain she was going to just get up and leave. She didn't. After a few dates I asked her why she hadn't run away yet. She said, "I like you. For you." She surprised me at work one day to bring lunch for a picnic, and several co-workers said, "How the hell did you land her?" It wasn't money, though I did have a solid career and made decent money. In 10 years of marriage my wife has asked for practically nothing, and she's as anti-materialistic as you can get. I was just myself and somehow lucked out in finding a girl who was looking For that. I won't lie, I had some depressing encounters with women prior to meeting my wife. Never had a real date even until her. When I was 17, I had a girl walk into a restaurant, see me, and leave. I asked out a classmate in college and she said the dreaded ha ha ha, you know. Plenty of stories. It was sad. Story 5. Make them laugh. Treat them well. Do fun stuff together. Do chores. Admit when you're wrong. Give compliments without prompting. Learn what they do and don't like, then put that knowledge to work. Have a handle on your own psychology so you can deal with your shit. Listen twice as much as you talk.